Barre is a very, very historic town. You know, our entire downtown is on the National Historic Registry. There are specific buildings that are on the National Historic Registry. The Reynolds House, that building is specifically listed on the National Historic Registry, not just for the building itself, but for Cleora Reynolds and for her role as a businesswoman. In a time when there were no businesswomen, she had to continue her family's company, and she did it well, and quite frankly, she is a legend in this area. So if you're talking about renovating her home, her legacy, who are you gonna call? You're not gonna call someone who doesn't respect the building, someone who doesn't appreciate the architecture. And you know, that building, I was horrified. The entire roof structure had buckled. I really wondered whether they could pull it off. And Tyrm walked around, I watched the two of them walk around, and they had the same look in their eyes as they looked at the detail, at the woodwork, at the possibilities. His attention to detail is incredible. There's never anything that we have to point out. It happens. Every project Tyrm does for us, when we look at the project, when we look at this room, our home, when the project is done, it's exactly the way we envisioned it in our head. It's every bit as good as we imagined it could be. If you go into the Reynolds house, there were all these old crates from the turn of the century that were the original Reynolds family, part of their business. Some of the crates had tags on them, some had stencil on them. And as I walked by these crates, Tyrm and I said, okay, we can't throw those out, we gotta do something with them. 3 or 4 weeks later, Tyrm called Karen and I, and he said, I just want you to see something. He had gone in, and over the weekend, he had taken these crates apart, he had taken the boards, and he had built the bar surround out of these pieces. That house wouldn't be standing today if it weren't for Tyrm Chouinard and his crew.